Multiple edits. Don't stop yet. Now, you might not want to hear this, but this is very important as you go through your self-editing process. After you complete the first edit of your manuscript, you think you're done, right? No, you are just getting started. Once you've read through your manuscript aloud and made all those changes, you want to go back and edit it again. Why? Because, as I have said, your first draft is your rough draft, and there are likely to be lots of changes, extensive changes. And with so many changes, you want to make sure that A, you didn't make any mistakes as you were adding those changes, but B, you want to make sure that those changes sound right. Because you can think, oh, no, I'm going to add this or subtract this, and then you go back and you read it and you're like, yeah, that doesn't sound good either. So it's important to read through it again to make sure that those changes that you made still apply, sound good, and that there aren't any other errors. Now, for your second edit, you can read it out loud again, or if you want, you can try one of those other methods. You could read it silently or use an app that reads it to you. And remember, I said that's probably your second choice next to reading it out loud. So you might want to try that or read it out loud again, and you're going to still have great success with that. Now, depending on how many corrections that you have in your second round of edits, you may want to do a third round of edits. But you never want to do less than 2. Always read through your book at least 2 times. Maybe 3. It just depends on how many changes you've made. Now, I do want to warn you, though, to be very careful not to over-edit. Some authors get caught up in this trap of editing, because they want their book to be perfect. They're never satisfied with it, and so they never finish their book. But I want you to understand there is no such thing as perfect. No matter how many times you read it, no matter how many times somebody else reads it, I would be willing to bet there's at least one error in that book, because that's human nature. And even AI does not catch everything. So at some point, you have to be okay with your book and say, okay, it's good enough. I think it's ready to go. Then it's time to hand it off to a professional editor. And I'll talk more on that in the pre-publishing steps in that module. Your action steps are after your first round of edits to determine which method you want to use for a second edit. And again, be open to a third edit if you need to, even 4. It really depends on how many changes you make. Because if there's a lot of changes, then you want to reread it to make sure that those changes still sound good and that there aren't any other errors. But be willing to stop editing and hand your manuscript off to a professional editor for a final review. Your self-editing stage is critical to having a good quality book. So spend quality time on it. Don't rush it. Take your time and do as many edits as are necessary, but don't over-edit.